Hi all. I thought I'd have another 5-minute game. I've got two 30-minute games actually, I think, for Barnet Chess Club later. I'm pretty sure actually. So hopefully these are not too dissimilar for practice purposes. I didn't really want to go into this Sicilian dragon. Oh dear. My opponent's probably really up on the theory. So this is all standard stuff at the moment. Take on c4, I believe. Pretty much forced. h5. So Fischer wrote sack, sack and mate in his 60 Memorable Games book, but I think he had within his key games bishop still on that diagonal. I don't think the sack's that brilliant here for g5 and rook takes h5. So in this position I think a slightly different strategy is called for. Maybe knight b3 with the idea of e5 and then maybe g5 to try and expose this bishop. It's a bit dangerous really, but if I can get in e5 I think that's a nice little tactical idea here, as well as bishop h6. I think I'll try that, e5 followed by g5 to try and expose the bishop on d7. I know it's unusual for the dragon to do this. Usually you want to like just play bishop h6, but whatever, it skins the cat. There's different ways of skinning the cat. I think okay, bishop h6 here, or e takes d might give me a big place for my knight on d5, or even just f4, and if bishop takes g4 then rook g1, but then queen h2. In fact, queen h2 straight away strikes me as being dangerous, because how is black defending h7? It seemed pretty dire actually. Queen h2, I can't really see the defense. h6, bishop h6, bishop e5, queen h7. If h5 I just take, and then bishop e5, then f4, then bishop c3, then hg. I think it's pretty dangerous. I think I'll go for this. Queen h2. I think the dragon is quite a risky opening to play because of this h-file attack. I mean, this is a thematic plan that the opponent played to neutralise the bishop on this diagonal, but still the h-file attack can rage on. So I've just dislodged that knight from f6, just weakening h7 a bit more. And I think h5 is, I don't know, h5 or h6 to play bishop e5 with a tempo gain, but I'm not really that convinced by black's position. Maybe, you know, I've got f4. I think king safety's in trouble, king safety aspect. If h5 is played, what is the most precise though? Or maybe e takes d6 is more precise here, but then g5, I don't really want g5 to be played. So I think this looks like a good idea, just to play bishop takes h6. So now f4, bishop c3. Anything stronger? Bishop f4, there's bishop takes f4 check. I think f4 is pretty strong in this position. I'll play it, I think. So I'm threatening like all sorts of things. So bishop takes rook is a threat. Maybe actually bishop g7 is a threat. So if king takes, then queen h7, king f6, then knight d5. It's almost mating. King e6, rook he1. Looks to be like a mating there with bishop g7. If knight g7, queen h8. So can I actually afford to play bishop g7 here? So not to give the opponent much time, because if b takes c, I'll still have big threats though if b takes c. Is there any defence though that the opponent has available? Maybe bishop takes g4. If bishop takes f8, maybe bishop h5. So bishop g7 immediately would seem the fastest way to proceed. I don't really care about bishop takes b2, rook d2, or bishop d2. So that's really kind of tempting. But actually king takes queen h5, king f6, there's no knight on d5. So maybe just taking here is the safest. I'm hoping my opponent isn't going to just block this attack up now. So maybe bishop g5 to stop any king's escape square. Because if bishop f8, you know, the king can come to e7. I want to stop the use of the e7 square and threaten mate in 1 now. Queen h8, check. So I'm avoiding taking that bishop on. Bishop takes f8. That might have been strong, but here it seems more clear cut. The opponent's resigned. That's a nice Sicilian dragon crunch game. So let's have a quick look at that. So classic stuff by both sides here. Seems quite thematic. But although maybe, you know, black should play the line with h5. I don't know if this is old theory, just to avoid playing h5. It seems pretty dangerous to allow this h5, because, you know, this queen h2 idea. Well, first, after knight b3, it does prepare a little trap with e5 and then g5 to sort of pressure that d7 bishop. You wouldn't have thought white's aiming for the d7 bishop in this position, but there is latent d-file pressure. So this e5 is an interesting move, and if it dislodges protection from h7, so queen h2 is kind of logical. So here, it's just, you know, it's ripping open the h-file, and it does seem to be as though black's in real trouble. Not really sure what black can do here. If f6, I'll just take maybe the rook, then queen h8 is going to be crushing. So that was a bit of a crush. Alright, please leave any comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks very much. Alright, please leave any comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks very much.